Province News, Broom. At home, I'm Stephen Cotton for the headlines. Leadership of the House of Representatives declared former Speaker Funati Kofa's 2 months medical and constituency leave request following intense claims and counterclaims by some members of the House over the Grand Crew County District 2 lawmakers' request. Several victims of the December 26, 2023 tanker explosion have announced plans to stage a protest this Saturday in Tototabon County in demand of their benefits. The office of Margibi County Senator Nathaniel Mangil suspends its Margibi County Coordinator Sarah Skoda for time indefinite in connection to alleged motorbike theft. Away from whom the Gambia government has announced an investigation into the sale of assets seized from former President Yahya Jammeh, furthering widespread public concerns. Details of these developments, the news bulletin, and the voices of the newsmakers are upcoming events after the end of the show. Welcome back and thanks for joining us. Up next is the Bulletin of News with Ote Sankan.
The House of Representatives acknowledged a former communication from Grand Crew County District Number 2 Representative J. Funanti Kofa informing the body of his absence due to medical leave and constituency visit. In a letter addressed to Chief Clerk Major N. Sion, Representative Kofa stated that he could be away for approximately 2 months, citing health-related reasons and the need to engage with a constituent in Grand Crew. The communication further requested the Chief Clerk to extend the excuse to the Speaker, Richard Kuhn, the Deputy Speaker, Thomas Fowler, and the members of the House of Representatives. The plenary of the House of Representatives has acknowledged receipt of the communication and is expected to record Representative Kofa leave as excuse. The communication was read during the second day sitting of the second quarter of the second section of the House of Representatives. Several victims of Totota tanker explosion have announced plans to stage a peaceful protest on Saturday in Totota, Salala District, Bon County. The demonstration is intended to draw the attention of national government and development partners to what they describe as failures of the Disaster Management Committee headed by Totola Vapala to deliver on promises made in the aftermath of the tragedy. Speaking Thursday on a local radio station in Banga, Ali Conan, spokesperson for the victims, stated that the committee has initially pledged to provide a comprehensive report detailing donation and relief packages. Conan expressed concern over the apparent lack of support for victims, despite what he described as huge donation intended for their recovery. Conan Fowler alleged that the local disaster management committee was politically influenced and composed largely of supporters of the ruling Unity Party. It can be recalled on December 26, 2023, a tanker belonging to Liberia-renowned businessman God's Willing exploded in Totota, Bon County, leading to the death of over 200 persons. The office of Mangibi County Senator Nathaniel McGill has suspended its Mangibi County Coordinator, Sarah Adil Conan, for time indefinite in connection to alleged motorbike theft. Speaking on Radio Mangibi recently, the chief of office staff in the offices of Senator McGill, Robert Gray, said any action which has the propensity to undermine the senator office by staffers will be resisted to the code. He indicated that Sarah's alleged action has created serious embarrassment for the Mangibi County Senator owing to his decent character he has demonstrated over the years. Gray emphasized that if Sarah Kona is guilty, after investigation, he will be totally disassociated from our offices, that the offices of Senator McGill to serve as deterrent to others. He further noted that people who work in the public domain should be people with decent character. Maryland County District Number 2 Representative Anthony Williams has raised serious concern over the illegal presence of Burkinabe's national in the southeastern region of Liberia. Speaking in an interview Thursday, Representative Willen disclosed that the Burkinabes are not just residing in local villages, but are instead occupying remote forest areas, primarily in the counties of Rawaji, Bunk, Maryland, and Nima County. He alleged that these individuals are engaging in illegal activities, including the destruction of Liberia forest resources without the knowledge or oversight of the Liberia Immigration Service. Representative Whelan further warned that the situation poses a potential security threat, recalling that some trained Burkinabese fighters were present in Liberia during the country's civil war. He urged the government to take swift action to investigate and address the matter. The lawmaker also referenced a previous incident in Bond County where Burkinabes nationals were reportedly caught producing illegal chemicals, adding to the growing concern over their activities in the region. A staunch members of the Congress for Democratic Change, Never Kautu, has expressed dissatisfaction over the elections of Richard Coon as Speaker of the 55th National Legislature. He said lawmaker action should be guided by law, noting that there are standing rules that govern the House of Representatives. Kautu indicated that the action of some lawmakers by circumventing the Liberian Constitution, thereby holding the country a hostage for about 7 months, was unpatriotic and counterproductive to Liberian democratic principles. He further commended the former Speaker Fonati Kofa and the Supreme Court for standing by the law. His subsequent resignation, which he said has set the benchmark for good governance and constitutional principles. Kautu emphasized that every salary and benefit received by Speaker Richard Coon prior to his election as legitimate Speaker of the House will be accounted for by the next government to assume power comes 2029. Senate liaison officer, former Broom County Senator Samuel Johnson, has announced that the House of Representatives will initiate proceedings to petition the impeachment of the justices of the Supreme Court. In an interview Thursday, Senate liaison officer Johnson said Liberia are becoming increasingly aware that the court decision lacked neutrality. He stated that the citizens have noticed that the Supreme Court ruling was political. According to Johnson, the decision does not only threaten national stability, but also nearly resulted in the impeachment of President Joseph Boakai. Johnson emphasized that the ruling almost pushed Liberia into chaos and the potential removal of the president. Johnson thanked President Boakai for maintaining impartiality amid the controversy involving Representative Richard Coon and former House Speaker Fonati Kofa. Senator Johnson went further to accuse the Supreme Court of attempting to enact conflict between the judiciary and the Unity Party-led government. The liaison officer added that the court wanted to provoke Liberians into conflict with the current administration. His comment comes as political tension rise and lawmakers begin discussing possible impeachment proceedings against members of the Supreme Court. A strong supporter of the Congress for Democratic Change, Rebecca Yearing, is appealing to partisans of the CDC philanthropists, well-meaning Liberians, and government officials to assist her get bundles of zinc, 8 bags of cement, 20 pieces of brick, and a few bags of broken tile. She said as the rainy season draws nearer, her resident is in a dilapidated state, and if nothing is done to tackle the situation, it might lead to serious deteriorating condition. Rebecca, who lived with her 5-year-old grandchild, noted that when the rain falls, her entire room gets flooded. As a result, they have nowhere to rest, she and her grandchild. Yearing, who has supported the CDC as a die-hard citizen for several years, said once those materials are available, she will be grateful and will have no other request to make. The news bulletin.
Otis Sanka and the News Bulletin is a regular feature on King's Newsroom. 45 minutes of news about Liberia and the rest of our one globe. In one of our top developments we are following this afternoon, several victims of the December 26, 2023 tanker explosion now plan to stage a protest this Saturday in Tututabon County in demand of their benefit. among other things. We are taking a very short break and we'll come back. We'll bring you voices. To this development now, several victims of the Totoka Tango explosion have announced plans to stage a peaceful protest on this Saturday in Totoka Salala district, Bon County. The demonstration is intended to draw the attention of the national government and development partners to what they describe as the failure of the Disaster Management Committee held by told Vapla to deliver on promises made in the aftermath of the tragedy. Speaking Thursday on the local radio station in Banga, Aliyu Conan, spokesperson for the victim, stated that the committee had initially pledged to provide a comprehensive report detailing donation and relief packages. We sincerely apologize. We cannot lay our hands on that episode. We hope to bring you that episode during our subsequent newscast. Sen- Senator Johnson has announced that the House of Representatives will initiate proceedings to petition the impeachment of the Chief Justice and all associate justices of the Supreme Court. In an interview Thursday, Senator Lazarne Johnson said Liberians are becoming increasingly aware that the court's decision lack neutrality. He stated that the citizens have noticed that the Supreme Court's ruling was politically motivated.
Or put our country into war. That statement he may save our country, right? Because everybody knew that the Supreme Court was their ruling was political. Their ruling had some criminal intent. Their ruling wanted to put our country into war and bring down the government. All of them that signed it. That was their intention. And the manner in which President Barker spoke, he said, we acknowledge your ruling. I will call it a massive ruling. He didn't say so. I'm saying so. We acknowledge your ruling. We will work with the quorum. He didn't say I will work with Richie Kuhn. He didn't say I will work with Kufa. If you have the strength, muscle, 37%, I will do business with you. And he has not done that. This country would have been at war by this time. But because of his wisdom, his thinking on Liberia, how he want Liberia to be, he made, and that was the patriotic statement delivered by the president. In the same token, the Richard Kuhn group then went to the Supreme Court and filed something for re-argument or re-hearing. Yeah. Those two things saved the country. And so I want to commend them. Because the so-called members of the Supreme Court were ready now. The four justices were ready for this country to be at war. But this time we'll be running head of scatter. So now all they were digging for us with John Hawaii, and we're moving on now. By next month, we start a consultation. Trust me. We will start holding consultation about how people honor the law. We have the right. We're not going to protest. We have the right to petition the legislation to do what we want them to do for us. And so I'm trying to put some group together. We will petition the House of Representatives to begin the impeachment proceeding against those people calling themselves associate justice and chief justice who wanted to push our country into.
A staunch member of the Opposition Congress for Democratic Change, Ninvate Kotu, has expressed dissatisfaction over the election of Richard Cohn, as Speaker of the 55th National Legislature, said lawmakers' action should be guided by laws, noting that there are standing rules that govern the House of Representatives. Kotu indicated that the action of some lawmakers by circumventing the Liberian constitution, thereby holding the country at hostage for about 7 months, was unpatriotic and counterproductive to Liberia's democratic principles.
If you have a speaker that was elected by a member of the House and there is a law and rule that govern the House, and to see some member of the House going against their law, they are going against their law and the Constitution of Liberia, it baffles me, because everything we do in this country, we do it in line with the law. Even before they get at the capital, there was the law that take them at the capital, because the Constitution say so month after 6 years, so month we should go to elections, and within the election we should go do voter registration and go and vote. It is why that carry them at the Capitol building. But to see some lawmaker going against the law of the country and even their own rule, it baffles me. But I'm a commend Funati Kofa for taking a great stand that even a woman in the market know that yes, what Funati Kofa did, he was in line with the law, and the Supreme Court came out ruling that Funati Kofa won the case, but he did it I own will say, let me resign. So I'm a comment for that. And those guys on the other side, the illegal group, because I will not refer to them as majority group. They are not majority group because we gave them the urge to keep doing what they did. Because we refer to them as majority group. What we needed to do is that to tell them that you people are illegal group. They were not going to go far with the issue of 7 months fighting. Because even if you look at what they did yesterday, it baffled me, because people continue to play on the mind and on the intelligence of we Liberian. You tell us the Supreme Court ruling, what it comes down with, it was not legal or was not what fight. Then you come out and write, where a teacher say the law is the law. It's a contradiction. What would people who claim to be school? People will claim that the benefit he received. The next government that will come to power, Richard Kun will give account of that. Every cent that he will use illegally, purporting himself to be speaker, he will get account. Take it from me. And at that time, Boka would not be in power, and Boka would not be able to stand with him like that. I was just on the air. I was telling you about the issue of Vanessa Boka with Ellen.
Maryland County District 2 Representative Anthony Williams has raised serious concern over the illegal presence of Burkinabe national in the southeastern region of Liberia. Speaking in an interview Thursday, Representative Williams disclosed that the Burkinabe are not only residing in local villages, but also are instead occupying remote forest areas, primarily in the counties of Riverview, Bong, Maryland, and Nimba. He alleged that these individuals are engaging in illegal activities, including the destruction of Liberia's forest resources without the knowledge or oversight of the Liberia Immigration Service.
I want to extend, my thanks for being curious, about the communication that was being raised or being read on the floor today by the Deputy Chief Clerk regarding the Burkinabe and the influx of Burkinabe in the southeast in other counties around Liberia. Like I said, during my presentation towards the plenary, I informed the plenary that my attention has been drawn to the Burkinabe situation from in the southeast, based upon the committee that I was serving on LRRC at first. I had an opportunity to go along with the former LRRC director to visit the southeast, which is Nimba County, Bon County, Nimba, Grange, Riverview, Maryland, and other counties. And then while we're on that tour, we realized that there was an influx of Burkinabes into the federal forests, unknown to even the immigration authority. And the citizens in that area raised alarm about the Burkinabes being in the forest. one of the issues that they raised was that the Burkina bees are not basing in the towns, but they are just in the forest. So what happened to them is that the Burkina bees presence in the forest. They were first of all encroaching on the forest deforestations. They were also it was being affected. The protected species in the forests were also being destroyed by them. And then the land grab in the forest were also issues that were being raised by the people. And then we thought it was just an ordinary issue. And when we get to Secretary Pier, they also raised it and we went there. They called the Burkina beans. They were almost in the thousands in Nima County. We went to Grange there. We also met another thousands somewhere around the Town area. And very in Houston, we got a real same thing. We got to Maryland. I myself from Plebo, I never knew that Burkina beans were in Plebo until we got to Plebo. And I saw Burkina beans. I was like, how? They say, yeah, the guys are living in the forest and they speak French and those ones speak English. And they are there without women. They're just in the forest. And then, so what clicked to my mind, retrospecting on the engagement and retrospecting on the war that was fought in this country, almost all of the guys who were trained, I'm a trained swearer from Burkina beans, from Burkina Faso, so I thought that it was dangerous for our country.
Representative Anthony Williams of District 2, Maryland County, there speaking. To this next development, the office of Margibi County Senator Nathaniel McGill has suspended its Margibi County Coordinator, Cyrus Conan, for a time indefinite in connection to an alleged motorbike theft. Speaking on the local radio station in the county recently, the chief of office staff in the office of Senator McGill, Verman Gray, said in an action which has the propensity to undermine the senator's office by staffer will be resisted to their code. He indicated that Sarah's alleged action has created a serious embarrassment for the Margibi County senator owing to his decent character he had demonstrated over the years.
Okay. A 0 grant for alleged criminal. If you are involved, if you are working in the office of the McGill, we expect you to move out there with a clean and clear character. Okay. Anything other than that will result into action taken by the office. So we got information that one of our staff members was involved into some alleged criminal activity. The reason we say alleged because there's a full-scale investigation currently being conducted by the Liberia National Police. And the outcome of that investigation has not been made known to us yet. Until that is being made known to us, then we might assign a lot of terminology to it. But as far as we're concerned now, it's an alleged criminal activities. So what we did as an office, we already, as you can see, I've given you a copy. We suspended the staff member involved in person of Mr. Cyrus Kona. Cyrus Kona has been suspended for time indefinite from the office of Senator McGill, and he's not just been suspended. We serve his letter right after this this interview, okay. And he is to turn over all access materials that is in possession currently to Mr. Daddy Gibson, okay, and Mr. 40K Rogers. Mr. 40K Rogers is the chairman of the Porcupine Movement Kakatan branch. Mr. Daddy Gibson is currently the political advisor in the office of Senator McGill. So that's the reason why we're here. Okay. And let me be clear with this, because we've heard a lot of news coming from Kakata. The reason why I'm chief of staff in the office of Senator McGill, because I have exhibited clean character. And the reason why we continue to maintain all the staffers in the office of Senator McGill, because they continue to exhibit clean and clear character. Okay. But if a staffer in our office is involved into anything that does not represent the office of Senator McGill, that person, the first step is to suspend. He's been suspended, as I said. Mm-hmm. And if the result of that full-scale investigation found him guilty, he will be permanently disassociated from the office. Okay. And I'm saying this, it goes to other staff members, even those who are involved into devious or financial practices.
Farmer Gray is the chief of staff in the office of Margibi County Senator Nathaniel McGill there speaking. And now, ahead of the news presentation, is our foreign developments. but this development sets the pace. A strong supporter of the Congress for Democratic Change, Rebecca Yerin is appealing to partisans of the CDC, philanthropists, and well-meaning Liberians and other government officials to assist her get one bundle of zinc, 8 bags of cement, 20 pieces of bricks, and few bags of broken tar. She said as the raiding season drew closer, her resident is in a deplorable state, and if nothing is done to tackle the situation, it might lead to serious deteriorating condition.
To all sedition or born sedition, we're not talking about counterfeit sedition. We're talking about born sedition and cut to them. To really help me when we're up and down in our ring, they do the sun. So I come for help. The rain that come in, not small rain, for them to help him with the zinc and cement. Me face my plate. When it rain, the water can go in my room. The plant and no good push, no push, now good, but no push. I live right down. Coming down to Government Hospital, Government Hospital, the water can go all the way in my room. So the area I want face, I'm not renting, I'm not paying $5. Okay. But only one face in the place for the rain is too much. This year it will really rain. So I'm breaking all sedition and all over the world. All over the world, whatsoever for brothers and sisters. Unless you're not real born sedition, you not wake up during that time when we're running. They call me rush hour one. But as soon as they say rush hour, people know me from right hand street. You can have popular. But as soon as they say rush hour, people know me straight and say, yeah, I want my own air. I want my own air. Take my patient when we're running on the street. Okay. Let the president myself, let me here, let the president work. I pay my due to identify myself as sedition. My document of sedition, everything is there. But I'm working for people to know that I'm sedition. I'm not a sedition by more. I'm a sedition by blood. You open the door, you enter my room. You open the door, you enter my room. The only thing you can see in my room. When you open the door, you enter my room. The only thing you can see in my room is sedition paper. And they want another thing to face the whole push. You can't get no zinc for the push. So get the cement to put the cement in the block, to put it to the bar way and put cement in the room. And so, the person can help me with 8 bags or 9 bags. 9 bags is higher than the 9 bags with the breaking the tar for Johnson Street.
Or the broken tar.
The broken tar will only.
She is a supporter of the Congress for Democratic Change, Rebecca Yerin. They're calling for help. And now, away from home, the Gambian government has announced an investigation into the sale of assets seized from former President Yahya Jammeh, furthering widespread concern. Some of the assets include Lascott luxury vehicles were sold off while a panel was still investigating the wealth of the former president. A newspaper investigation explored alleged irregularity and an apparent lack of transparency in the sale of the assets, sparking protests organized by young people. In a televised address on Wednesday night, President Adama Barrow pledged full transparency in the probe, saying asset recovery belonged to the people. Jammeh, who seized power in a 1994 coup, is accused of orchestrating the huge theft of government funds as well as extensive human rights abuses, including killing and jailing his critics. The former leader, who in 2017 fled into exile in Equatorial Guinea after losing election, has previously denied all allegations against him. And as well, the pirate military fighter appeared to have opened a new phase in Sudan's civil war after being driven from the capital in a move which some experts have described as a shock and hurried calm. Just weeks after the Menin celebrated the recapture of Khartoum, its foes and the rapid support forces launched a series of unprecedented drone strike on ports in Sudan in the east of the country. The attack led to worsening power blackout as well as cited residents facing water shortage. The barrack of the attack on the wartime capital and humanitarian hub signaled that the RSF is determined and able to carry on the fight despite significant territorial losses. Well, this is how we come to the end of today's edition of the news program. But before we take leave of you, here are top stories we close with for. Leadership of the House of Representatives agreeing to formal Speaker Funati Kofat's 2 months medical and constituency leave requires the following things claims and counterclaims by some members of the House of Representatives over the Greenfield County District to lawmakers' request. Several victims of the December 26, 2023 tanker explosion announced claim to stake the peaceful protest this Saturday in Tototabon County in demand of their benefits, among other things. Office of Margibi County Senator Nathaniel McGill suspends its Margibi County Coordinator Sarah Schoolland for plan indefinite in connection to an alleged motorbike theft. Away from whom Gambia government has announced an investigation into the sale of assets seized from former President Yahya Jammeh furthering widespread concern in the country. On this note, let me say many thanks to our reporters, writers, and editors for making today's news presentation. Our sources, Ote Sankam brought us the news bulletin. Janin Kasiman Sara Control and Codely coordinated the sound system. Stephen Compton, thanks for listening and watching.